Good afternoon, Your Honor. Daniel Magoo.
All right. Mr. Gu, you are representing yourself. I do have to apprise you that you are before the court on charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. That is a high court misdemeanor, or what technically is known as a high court misdemeanor, and or felony punishable by up to 2 years, $2,000 fine plus court costs. There are great perils in representing yourself in this. You have to understand that I am going to treat you the same as though you know the laws and the rules of evidence. I will not treat you worse because you are not represented. I will not treat you better or grant any favors or try to clarify anything for you. If, for whatever reason, during any point in this proceeding, you wish to be represented by counsel and cannot afford to hire counsel, counsel will be appointed to represent you. As I have in the past hearings asked you to acknowledge what I've said, I'm going to only indicate that I believe that you understand English. You believe that the words that I have said to you are understood, so that we don't get into, you need to remove the gum from your mouth.
Mr. Macau is back, and this time, he's about to face the harsh reality of why having legal representation is absolutely crucial. If you're new here, this is part 2 of a video covering his disastrous courtroom behavior. And trust me, it only gets worse. From the moment he steps in, it's clear he has no clue what he's doing. He refuses to answer Judge Simpson's questions, carries himself with an arrogant, smug attitude, and seems to think he's above everyone else in the room. And if that wasn't bad enough, he was chewing gum in court while standing there completely unprepared, without a lawyer. That level of disrespect and recklessness is almost painful to watch. Let this be a lesson. If you ever find yourself in legal trouble, get an attorney. Macau's actions are the perfect example of what not to do. But enough talking, let's jump right in and see just how badly things spiral between Macau and Judge Simpson today.
And
Thank you.
so I will not ask you to acknowledge. I will presume that you do indeed understand everything that I've said. Now, having said that, what are we doing with this case?
I'd like to move for evidentiary hearing. Yeah.
You wish to have a preliminary examination?
Preliminary examination, yes.
But do people have their witnesses available the second?
We can try, Your Honor, but before moving toward that, would the court be willing to make its inquiries about discovery? I am aware of the defendant having filed a writ of mandamus with the Court of Appeals in the state of Michigan.
Yes.
That was subsequently dismissed without prejudice by the Court of Appeals.
Correct.
Contained within that, though, there are allegations that my office has violated its Brady obligations and has not provided sufficient discovery. So I'm not sure if we're ready to move forward to preliminary exam. The defendant is saying that he doesn't have all of the discovery. That is the concern. The record I feel compelled to make at this time, though, is that the people have provided, I do believe, complete discovery to the defendant, and I believe that some of the representations that were made in this writ of mandamus that has been dismissed appear to allege that things that have already been denied by this court should be produced. Furthermore, the defendant filed a motion with no notice of hearing attached to it. So there's an outstanding motion in this case as well, no hearing date scheduled. So I'm hoping it to sort of reconcile both of those things as whether or not discovery is something the defendant is prepared to move forward, and if he ever has filed a notice of hearing to go along with the motion that I received in this case on 11/22.
Mr. Magoo, your response?
My response is that I thought this was the hearing that we were setting for the motion. So if I have to set a motion for a notice of hearing for that motion, I will do that today, Your Honor, promptly.
What about discovery?
I'm ready to move forward on my what I meant by my discovery comment was that there's still no exculpatory evidence as far as that I did anything wrong, as far as anything that they've submitted. So if it was improper for the wording, Your Honor, I apologize, but my ultimate goal is have the prosecution present their evidence against me.
I'm going to indicate discovery is complete because I don't know what you're saying. because what you just said regarding discovery didn't make any sense. As it regards the motion, we will hear the motion the motion will be heard on date of exam. We'll
Thank you, Your
deal
Honor.
with it at that point in time. So the people would have their witnesses available on the second.
We can try for the second, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination in person, January 2nd, 2025, 12.
Yeah.
12 noon, that is before me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And continue.
This guy is the perfect example of why you need legal representation. Not only is he completely unprepared, but he's also incredibly smug, acting like he can somehow outsmart the judge, which, honestly, I have no idea why he thought that would be a good idea. If anyone has a theory on why he's acting so irrationally, let me know in the comments, because I'm genuinely baffled. To me, he comes off like a sovereign citizen, and if you've been following my channel, you know I've covered plenty of them. They always have this over-the-top, arrogant attitude toward the judge, as if they are somehow above the law, and it's just pure insanity. Now, let's not forget why he's even in court. This guy is facing charges for assaulting a police officer and, on top of that, he lost custody of his kid because of it. That's not something that just happens randomly. That's a serious consequence of serious actions. And yet, he's walking into court like it's just another casual day, acting as if saying, "Oh, I didn't do it," is enough to get him off the hook. Spoiler alert, it's not. He needs a lawyer, badly. Instead, he's making the judge absolutely despise him. And honestly, I think everyone watching probably feels the same way. This whole situation just proves one thing. If you ever find yourself in legal trouble, do not be like this guy. Get legal representation. I see this far too often. I don't know if it's just sovereign citizens who insist on representing themselves, but I've never seen anything good come out of it. It always seems like they are just making things worse for themselves in the long run. And this guy? He lost custody of his kid, which is a massive deal. It makes no sense. Either he's completely unstable, or he's just straight up unhinged. Honestly, I have no idea how he even had a kid or took care of one because he comes across as so immature and reckless. But yeah, that's going to wrap up my take on this. I'll be posting the next court hearing in January when it comes out, and I cannot wait to see how that unfolds. I think it's going to be very entertaining. This was just another wild clip from the Moya saga. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, take care.